Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of A Simple Fix. I am your host, Olivia. I am so happy you're here. Happy May 1st. We're already really making our way through the year. I'm going to get through my highs and lows pretty quickly today because I have a very quick and easy tool that I'll be sharing with you today. This past week has been pretty great, I would say. The way that I gauge my weeks is kind of based off of my to-do lists. And I feel like I was able to get a really good amount of work, personal, the whole life admin, and business to-dos done. I was able to kind of go through my entire closet, clear out all of my winter stuff. Please don't snow again. And be able to just kind of reset, doing a little spring cleaning and organization just in all areas of my life, which always feels chef's kiss after you complete it. And it's very tedious and it's not something that you necessarily want to do, but it's always so rewarding and feels great after. So I feel like I'm on track. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling organized and productive and motivated. And I hadn't been feeling that way for a hot minute. So that feels really nice. And a low is, honestly, I've just been on an emotional roller coaster this past week. You know, it's pretty normal between your luteal and your menstrual phase that you're just going to be a hot mess. So I would say that would be my low is just having those roller coasters, feeling great one day, feeling like SHIT the next day. It all comes with the territory of being a woman and the territory of healing. And I'm proud of myself for not ignoring those emotions and those feelings and being able to navigate them in a healthy way where I'm not suppressing them. So good for me and good for you if you did that too. But today I wanted to share another simple fix. Every first Monday of the month, it's a little bit of a shorter episode where it is just a practical tool for you to be able to add into your life. And these are things that I go through with my individual clients. These are things that I use for myself and things that are very well backed by science, not just an idea or an opinion of mine. So today's simple fix tool that we'll be talking about is 5 steps to recognizing and rewiring your limiting beliefs. Beliefs are the foundation of who we are, essentially. Those beliefs are the ideas that we hold true based on personal experiences, our culture, or what we know and hear from others. They are the dictator of our mindsets, of our behaviors, and they can motivate us and inspire us to take action that aligns with those personal values. Beliefs also can affect our health and our ability to heal in insane ways. However, not all of those beliefs actually support us, which brings in limiting beliefs. To define limiting beliefs, they are beliefs that hold us back and keep us stuck in some way. And these beliefs are stories that we tell ourselves, and those stories are often about ourselves. And the hard part is when we spend years of our lives believing a certain thing about ourselves, it's not just an automatic shift that causes us to believe something differently. I always give the analogy to my clients that you are in a field and you are running in a circle in the exact same spot over and over and over and over again. It creates a pattern and it creates a path where it's easier for you to run around in that same circle forever. And in order to shift your beliefs or shift those negative thought patterns, you have to form a new path. And it takes work. You have to trudge through the grass and you have to create a path. And it's really easy when you are creating a different path to look back on the path that is already there. And you want to just deviate back to that path that is already there because it's easy. But when we continue to interpret our entire world based off of the limiting beliefs that we have chosen to believe and chosen to agree with, we prevent ourselves from having the ability to move forward in life. And the key here, and what we're going to be working through, is becoming aware of those limiting beliefs and determining how they are not empowering us and what we can replace it with that will empower us to move forward in life in a healthy and fulfilling way. I personally am not a huge journaler, so I like to do voice memos or really even just talk to myself and then write down a couple points rather than, journaling through the whole entire thing. But you can navigate and work through these 5 steps in however way that you please. It could be with a therapist or a counselor. It could be with a friend. It could be with yourself with a journal. It could be with your phone. You could record a video of you doing it and you look back and you listen to it, or you can do a voice message. There are so many different options. You could even just talk to yourself like I do 95% of the day. And also on top of that, these 5 steps can be a really simple exercise that you utilize when those moments come up or when a trigger is revealed of your limiting beliefs. And it can be as simple as, 3 minutes going through these processes. So the first step is identifying the red flag. What was the thing that caused you to stop and check in on yourself? Oftentimes it's a trigger. Oftentimes it's either something that somebody said or something that a pattern that you have that you finally recognized is unhealthy for you. It could be something super small, like a comment somebody makes to you or a comment somebody leaves on your social media channels. Or it could be as big as your perceived inability to reconcile a relationship or your inability to manage your stress and your body in the midst of chronic illness. Regardless of the event, the main focus is that it affected you negatively. So you identify that red flag. Step number 2 is you identify the limiting belief within the trigger. What is it that you said to yourself in that moment? For example, say there's a comment on your latest TikTok and it's talking about how your content is useless and it's not helping anybody and nobody asked for it. Now, in your mind, you could look at that and it could trigger you, and it could unfortunately line up with a limiting belief that you tell yourself and that you have believed for so long. So say you received that comment and the limiting belief, there could be multiple, but one of them could be, I don't add any value into this world. I am not important. I am not special. I am not providing any value to the people who watch my TikToks. And these are all what we call self-defining beliefs. When you say, I do, I don't, I am, I'm not, or even I never, I always, those I have noticed come out of my mouth a lot. I'm always hard on myself. I'm always negative. I'm never positive. Those absolutes are not true. Even more, there are ability beliefs. So I should, I shouldn't, I can, I can't. Those are beliefs that bring forth shame and self-judgment. And we want to get those out of our vocabulary, just in general. So the question here, when you are identifying that limiting belief, is you want to consider the things that you're telling yourself and why you're challenged by that trigger, why you're challenged by that red flag that came up. So as you're going through the list of those limiting beliefs that come up, circle one that you want to work on. So the one that will be our example is, I don't bring any value to the world. Step number 3 is assess the limiting belief. Now, this is what I would consider maybe to be the hardest part, because you have to go deep. You have to be introspective. You can't just gloss over the fact that you experience this trigger and that there is a limiting belief attached to it. So when you're assessing this limiting belief, you want to look at the fear behind it and then the truth behind it. So the limiting belief here is, I don't provide any value to anyone. The underlying fear is, I'm inadequate and ill-equipped, and that what I have to say and what I have to share in the world carries no value and carries no worth. And the truth behind it is, that was just one comment out of the hundreds of comments that I've received of people saying, this has been so helpful. You are supporting me in my own healing. This is so relatable. You're not alone. I feel the exact same way. There are so many other comments that are saying the complete opposite of that one comment that had been left. So now that we have the truth, we are able to begin reframing that limiting belief, which is step number 4. And this is where my analogy comes into play, where we've been running around that same circle over and over and over again. And now we are doing the work to create a new pathway in reframing the belief that we have had for however long about ourselves. There are a few different ways that I like doing this. One way is to really think objectively about the facts, kind of like what we just did is we take a step back. For example, say that comment was on my page. I am a wellness coach. I talk about self-connection. I talk about having healthy relationships and friendships. I talk about having a healthy relationship with yourself. A lot of what I share is based off of my experience, and nobody has the ability to invalidate my personal experience in life. And to say that that has no value and that doesn't help anyone is a lie, because that is one of the most connecting things in the world, is when you share your own experience and have empathy for others who are experiencing it too. It allows people to feel seen and heard and understood, and that does add value. So when you look at it objectively, it allows you to recognize that that limiting belief and the lie that you have believed about yourself actually has no validity. Another way that you can do it is you identify the opposite of the limiting belief. If the limiting belief is, I provide no value to the world, the opposite of that is, I am a unique, one-of-a-kind individual, and I bring something to the table that nobody else can. It sometimes can feel extreme, but it helps really create a basic foundation, and you can adjust it and kind of change it into an affirmation that works for you, that would be easy to remember and to repeat. And the third way is to identify the root of the limiting belief. And a lot of the times that root started when you were 6, 7, 8 years old and somebody said something to you that you chose to believe for the rest of your life. And that comment could have triggered you because of a situation that you experienced when you were a kid where you weren't chosen or you didn't feel valued. And so going back to the root of that limiting belief and really providing a space for forgiveness of that person who wronged you and taught you that this was what you were to believe about yourself will be very freeing. And all three of those, I think, can really be wrapped up into one sentence where you are able to create an affirmation where whenever that trigger and that feeling comes up, you are able to replace it with the truth. And then step number 5 is just empowering yourself to take action. We spent all of that time reflecting, and reflection without action is stagnation. You want to take that reframed belief and put it into action. Sometimes that's like what I said, having the affirmations and actively choosing to believe the truth about yourself rather than that limiting belief. But also sometimes it looks like, you know what, I am going to double down on my TikToks, and I'm going to post a TikTok every single day talking about my experiences in life and allowing it to reach the right people. And I'm not going to stop just because one comment is telling me that I need to, or that my work is not valuable. I want to note that this is not an easy process. It's not linear. It takes time and effort, and there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days, and you might uncover that belief and then discover there's just another one waiting right behind it for you to work through. Or you might feel like you were able to power through and heal from that limiting belief, and it comes back again down the line. If these kinds of things happen, it doesn't mean that the process is not working. It just means that it's a practice, and you should be proud of yourself for allowing yourself to be put in that space of discomfort. And as you are in that uncomfortable space, you are growing and you are getting stronger and stronger. So please always remember to be patient with yourself in the midst of this. It takes time and it takes effort. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message and I'd be happy to work through these things with you. Be proud of yourself for being able to conquer these things, these limiting beliefs that you have been believing about yourself for so long. And if you ever need a pep talk, you can DM me. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.